Hi guys, I think you are doing well and following my videos regularly. In my last video, I discussed about different processes involved in the transportation in plants. And today I will explain the structure of xylem and phloem and how transportation occurs through xylem and phloem. And I already introduced something about xylem and phloem, but now I will describe in detail. So, what are the xylem and phloem? Xylem and phloem, these two are the main conducting tissues in plants. That is, one is the xylem and another is the phloem. And what is the function, what is the difference? They have difference in their structure and also in their function. So what is the main function of xylem? That is, the carries water and mineral from the roots. That means roots and root hairs absorb water and minerals from the soil, and these are taken upward into different leaves and stem through the xylem. And what is the function of phloem? That is the food material made in the leaves. That means leaves make the sucrose food, glucose food, and that glucose food is distributed through the xylem into different parts of the plant body. And now, what do you mean by the xylem? What is the characteristics of xylem? Xylem actually made up of two types of elements, that is xylem vessel and trachea. This is made up of two types of element. One is the xylem vessel and another is called the trachea. And both these within the xylem, both conducting tissues are the non-living, and also they have thick walls. And xylem vessel is hollow tube-like structure joined end to end, and end walls of the cells broken down to form a long open tube. And xylem vessels run from roots to stem and leaves and then branched into every leaf of plants. Here you can see, here is the xylem. This is a structure of xylem. You can see there is one xylem cell, and it is the non-living. That means it is dead cell, and that dead cell is the wall is made up of lignin and cellulose. You see, that is thick cell wall containing lignin and space containing no cytoplasm. That means within the cell there is no cytoplasm and nucleus. And in the lignin, in the cell wall, there is a very small pores, that is called very small pores, that is called the pit. This small pores within the xylem is called the pit. That is, pit is present in the thick cell wall. And xylem vessels have pits in their thick cell walls, and these pits are not completely open. These are not completely open pores. Actually, here what happens? That means the lignin, the deposition of lignin here, the deposition of lignin is very thin, so that it forms a pore-like structure. The very thin deposition of lignin is here. And in flowering plants, either only xylem vessels transport water or both xylem and trachea transport water. And what is the you can see what is the function, what is the trachea? Trachea, you can see trachea is a long thin structure, and it is tapering. That means it is thinner than xylem vessel, and it also helps in conducting water, but it is thinner, and also its wall is also thinner, and the end is closed. Here the in the xylem vessel, the end portion is open, so that it forms a long conducting tissues, and it can easily conduct water from root to the uh, upper part of the plants. But in case of trachea, you see the end is closed and tapering. Tapering means pointed. The you can see I also written that having pits, sorry, dead cells with tapering ends. That means these are also dead cells and having no nucleus or cytoplasm, and the ends are closed. But having the closed end, they also help in conducting water. So how do they conduct water? There are there are so many pits. Pits means there are also so many pores, and through these pores water can be passed from one trachea to another through these pits. Pits means there are small pores, and through these small pores water can pass from one trachea to the another trachea. And non in case of non-flowering plants have only tracheates to conduct water. Now, absorption of water and minerals through the roots. How does water, how is water absorbed from the soil by the roots? First you know about the structure of roots. Structure of roots, you can see that is the structure of roots. I have given a diagram, and here is the end portion. There is a root cap. Root cap means it is a cap like structure, and it protects it is present to protect the root. When it moves downwards within the soil, there are soil and also there are some stones come in their path. So to protect the root, there is a root cap is present, and just above this root cap there is a meristematic region. Meristematic region means growing region. And next part is the zone of elongation. That is the zone of elongation, that is also growing region. And after that, this part contains the root hair. These are the small hairs, and these root hairs are unicellular structure. That means root hairs are formed by a single cell. These are very thin unicellular structure, and these root hairs actually absorb waters with minerals from the soil. These roots are present in the soil, and they absorb water and minerals from the soil. Now come to the second diagram. uh, Plants absorb water and dissolved mineral through their roots and root hairs. And these root hairs which absorb water and minerals, root hairs are always in direct contact with the soil particles, where you can see where there is a thin film of water film containing ions. There is a thin film of water. These are the soil particles, and this is the root hair. This portion is the root hair, and this is a particle, this is a particle, and this is a particle. Around the soil particle there is a thin film of water, and water also contains different minerals or ions. And these water then get into the root hairs. Then water is absorbed into the root hairs by the process of diffusion. And I already discussed about diffusion. From one cell, from one cell, that means from one root hair cell to another cell, the water goes by the process of osmosis. That means osmosis also happens here. And there is a different structure, that is epidermis, cortex, endodermis. So water crosses this epidermis, cortex, endodermis, and go to the xylem of root, and then it is transported, the water is transported to the xylem vessels in the stem, and then it goes upwards into the leaves. And only 1 to 2% of water absorbed by plant is used up by the plant in photosynthesis and other metabolic activities. That means very low amount of water. There is large amount of water is absorbed, but only 1 to 2% is used by photosynthesis, and the rest of the water is lost through transpiration as water vapor in the air. Now, structure of phloem, structure and function of phloem. This is another conducting tissue. Phloem is also another conducting tissue in the plants. And now you see that phloem mainly the seed tube. There are the two types of phloem, that is seed tube element and another is companion cell. Here is the seed tube element is given and also there is the companion cell. This left side portion is seed tube element and this right side having the companion cell. So seed tube element contains cytoplasm and both are the living cells. That means structure of phloem, that is phloem has four types of tissues. That is first one is the seed tube, companion cell, phloem parenchyma and phloem fiber. And with only the phloem fiber is the dead cell and another three are the living cells. So that is the seed tube element and here is the companion cell. Companion cell means that is the helping cells or accessory cells, and it also have the cytoplasm, and companion cell also have the nucleus, but the seed tube have no nucleus. And here you can see that is this is one seed tube element and this is another seed tube element, and in between these two seed tubes there is a seed plate. There is a seed plate is present in between these two seed tubes, and this seed plate have some pore like structure, and through these pores the food material can pass from one seed tube to another seed tube. Now, what is the function that is associated with transportation of food? Mainly seed tube and companion cells involved. Both are the living cells. I already told that both are the living cells, and seed tube cells have no nucleus, no lignin in cell walls, and join end to end through the seed plate having pores. And pores help to pass food along the phloem tubes. And food is prepared in the that is the food material food is prepared in the mesophyll cells of the leaves. Within the leaves there are different types of cells which are called the mesophyll cells, into which the chlorophyll is present, and because of this chlorophyll photosynthesis occurs within the mesophyll cells, and after photosynthesis the carbohydrate food is prepared, and that food is prepared in the leaves, but this food must be distributed into different parts like the stem, flower, bud, roots, etc. So how will it be distributed? From the mesophyll cells, the food enter into the seed tubes of phloem. That means within the phloem there is the seed tube elements, and it is present also in the leaves and different parts of the plant. And these seed tubes interconnected, and these interconnected phloem tubes are present in all the parts of the plant. So once the food enters the phloem tubes in the leaves, it is transported to all other parts of the plant by the network of phloem tubes present in all the parts of the plant. And this phloem is also present in the roots and leaves and stem in different parts of the plant. So interconnected phloem tubes deliver the they deliver the food that is synthesized in the leaves. They deliver the food to different parts of the plant. So thank you so much. I think you can understand my video, and I think it is very interesting for you. So if you like my video, so give a like and give a thumbs up, and also subscribe my channel. So thank you so much.